Hello there everybody, it is Tegan here again today, and today I am finally going to be doing my Booktubeathon 2018 wrap-up video. I know that this is a little bit late and I do have a reason for it. I have actually been gone, I haven't been home since Thursday. And before Thursday, I didn't have any time to film anything. I haven't been home since Thursday, and today is Tuesday, and that is because I was in Brisbane seeing 5 Seconds of Summer and trying to meet 5 Seconds of Summer, which I did end up meeting them, and I saw them in concert, and it was like the best thing that's ever happened to me. But I am going to do an entire video on that, so I'm not going to say anything more on that. And that is also why my voice is a little bit dead still. The concert was on Saturday and my voice is still recovering from it, so ignore that. But yeah, I'm going to do my Booktubeathon wrap up for you guys today. I did a little one at the end of my last vlog of the week, but I didn't actually do a full wrap up. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, and I'm excited to share with you guys what I read throughout the week. So if you weren't keeping track of my Booktubeathon vlogs, I did end up completing the Booktubeathon. I won it. I read all 7 books on my TBR and I completed all 7 challenges, which was absolutely amazing, and I'm so proud of myself for reading 7 whole books in a week, because that is insane, and I'm just so happy with myself for doing that. But yeah, I'm going to be sharing with you guys each book that I read, and obviously letting you guys know what I thought about it, and letting you guys know what challenge went along with each book and all that sort of fun stuff. So I'm going to start from the first book that I finished. So the very first book that I read in the Booktubeathon was The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. And this was my pick for book to movie adaptation, and it also was the pick from the coin toss, so do a coin toss to decide on your first read. I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars, and obviously it is a kid's book, and I have not read a kid's book in a very long time. I've read like younger books, like meant for younger people, but this is like a kid's book, and it definitely read like a kid's book, obviously. But then there were also like parts in it where it was like it wasn't gruesome, but it was like very intense for what's meant to be a kid's book. And it also was very fast paced. Like, you didn't have much time to process what was happening, which they had to fit a lot of content into a short book. I did enjoy it. I felt like, I mean, there's not much I can say about this book because it was a children's book, so obviously a lot of the issues that I have with it are going to be around it being a very old children's book. If you don't know what The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is about, it's about 4 kids who get sent off from their parents' house because there's a war happening, and they get sent to live in this big house out of where the war zone is. And Lucy, who's the youngest, ends up finding a hidden world in the back of a wardrobe, and a lot of stuff goes down in that wardrobe in Narnia. And yeah, it's really good. I really enjoy the story, and I did watch the movie as well. I did enjoy the movie a lot more than I enjoyed the book, which I thought I would, because the movie is one of my favorite movies. Like, ever since I was little and I watched it, it's always been one of my favorite movies. And so I was assuming to like the movie more than the book. Plus, there's so much content that they have to fit into this book to make it what the story is. And so this book is very, very fast paced, and I had some trouble actually keeping up with it because everything happened so quickly, and you would be reading about one scene and then like 2 sentences later you would be in a completely different place. And the movie has a lot more time to shell that out and give it the time that it deserves, I guess. But yeah, I did enjoy it. 3 out of 5 stars. And yeah. The second book that I finished during the Booktubeathon was The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan. This is the 3rd book in the Percy Jackson the Olympian series, and I loved it. This is probably my favorite Percy Jackson book that I've read so far. I absolutely adored it. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I don't know why it took me so long to get into this series, but it did. It took me so long to get into the series, and now that I'm in it, I don't want to leave it. I just keep wanting to read more and more and more of it. Plus, I've listened to a lot of the audiobooks for the first 3 books, and I really enjoy the narrator for them, so that's making it a lot more enjoyable for me as well. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this series. There's not much I can say about this book because it is the 3rd book in this series, but I absolutely adore Rick Riordan's writing style, and I feel like I just hate myself for taking so long to get into this series, but I can't wait to read the 4th book. And this was my book for Read a Book with Green on the cover, because this book definitely has some green on the cover. The 3rd book that I read during the booktubeathon was Username Evie by Jo Sugg, and this is a graphic novel by the YouTuber Thatcher Joe. And going into this, I knew it wasn't going to be the best graphic novel ever, and this was actually the first graphic novel that I've ever read, and I knew it probably wouldn't be the best one to start me off with, just because it is by a YouTuber, and YouTuber books are notorious for, I mean, there are some that are good, but it's kind of like the YouTuber book. Yeah, but I did enjoy it. I really loved the overall storyline. This book is about a girl whose dad has created her this big virtual reality world. She has a lot of tough time out in the real world. She doesn't have very many friends, and so her dad has created her this virtual reality world that she can go into, and it's basically her world, and everybody there is there to be friends with her and there to help her. But things end up going kind of astray in the actual world, and I really did enjoy the overall concept of this book. It's just reading through it, it might be because I've never read a graphic novel before, but reading through it, it did kind of seem like a children's book to me, just because I'm not so used to there not being like full sentences and not being a fully set out novel. But I did enjoy it. I really loved the artwork throughout it. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars just because, yeah, I did have a few issues with it, just with the overall like story and how it was written, but overall I did really enjoy the concept of this book, which is why I got 3 out of 5 stars from me. And the artwork throughout it is incredible. I love the artwork in this. And this was one of my books for just a book to get me to 7 books read. The 4th book that I read was Breathe by Sarah Crossan, and this was my pick for read a book with a beautiful spine, because it genuinely does have one of the prettiest spines on my shelf. I love it so much. Now, if you watch my vlogs, you would know that at the beginning of starting this book, I was loving it. I thought it was gonna be a 5-star book. I was adoring it. But as we got further on into the story, I did pick up a few issues that I had with it. In this book, the world has kind of been messed up. All the trees have disappeared, and so everybody has to live inside this big like glass bubble where they keep all of the oxygen inside, and you have to pay for extra oxygen, and there's different levels of people, so some people get more oxygen than others. It follows 2 girls and a boy, and one of the girls, Alina, is a part of a rebel group, and she's about to be captured, but she runs into Quinn and Bee, who are about to leave the tank for a vacation, and she ends up escaping out of the pod with them, and all of this stuff goes down and a bunch of stuff is uncovered. And it is a dystopian book. I absolutely adore dystopian books. If you've watched my channel before, you would know that it's one of my favorite genres. I absolutely adore it. And going into this book, I really thought that I would enjoy it. I thought I was going to love it so much, and I did for about the first half of the book. After that, some of the characters started getting really annoying to me. Specifically Bee, she started getting very annoying, and some of the lines that were said really annoyed me. There was a lot of unneeded romance in this book that I felt like shouldn't have been there. I feel like in a book, 1 couple, 2 couples is enough, but this one, everybody was just falling in love with everybody, and it just got a bit much. But overall, I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I did really, really, really enjoy the overall concept of it. It was just a few things about the writing that annoyed me. But other than that, I would definitely recommend this book to anybody that enjoys dystopian, because I did enjoy it. Just isn't one of my favorite dystopian books I've ever read. The fifth book that I read was Almost Midnight by Rainbow Rowell, and this is a collection of 2 short stories, Midnights and Kindred Spirits. I had actually already read Kindred Spirits before going into this because it was released on its own as a part of World Book Day a few years ago, and so I had already read Kindred Spirits, but I hadn't read Midnights yet, and so I was very excited to get into it. And then also, it's been a while since I read Kindred Spirits because the last time I read it was when it first came out. So it's been a while. And also, this book has a bunch of really cute illustrations throughout it, which made it really, really fun to read. So Midnights is about a girl and a boy who met on New Year's Eve. And this story is told on New Year's Eve through a span of a few years. So basically, these 2 people have become absolute best friends, and it's told over New Year's Eve. It was so cute. I don't want to spoil anything for you because I feel like you should go into it not knowing much, because there's not really any description of this story, but it was so adorable. One of my favorite short stories I've ever read. I had missed how much I loved Rainbow Rowell's writing because her writing is absolutely incredible. She's my favorite contemporary author, and there's a reason for that. I love her writing so much. And then Kindred Spirits is about a girl who waits on the street for 4 days to see the new Star Wars movie, and it's about her adventures through waiting on the side of the street for that. And I can relate to her with that. I've never waited in line for a Star Wars movie, or any movie for that matter, but I have done that for concerts. So I do relate to her on that level. And it's just a really cute fandom story about how much she loves Star Wars and meeting other people who like the same thing and all of that sort of stuff, and all of the troubles that you go through while camping out on the street for 4 nights. And it's just a really cute story, and I love them both so much. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely adored it. This was my book to read while wearing the same hat the entire time, and I am not going to go show you the hat because it is put away in my room, and I am too comfy to go and get it. But I had a great hat while reading this. You can go and watch my vlog that corresponds with this book if you want to see me wearing my hat. But yeah, also, can we just talk about how absolutely gorgeous this cover is? It's like all like textured and glittery, like it's gorgeous. This is like one of the prettiest covers I have on my shelf. I love it so much, and I love this book so much. I love both the stories so much, and I love Rainbow Rowell, and I need her to release a new book, please. And thank you. The 6th book that I read during the Booktubeathon was Adultalescence by Gabby Hanna. This was another one of my books that I read just to get me to 7 books. And Gabby is a YouTuber. She is one of my favorite YouTubers, and I was very excited to get into this one. I picked this up at VidCon last year, which was nearly a year ago, and I never actually got around to reading the entire thing. This is a collection of poems, and I actually read a few of them on the night that I bought it while I was at VidCon, but I never actually got around to reading the entire thing, and I absolutely adored it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and it's just honestly so beautiful. I went through and sticky noted some of my favorite poems that are in here, and there was quite a few. I loved this. I loved it so much. Like, there was a lot of deep poems in here, and there were also a lot of just fun ones. And I also found it really fun that a lot of the illustrations that Gabby drew in here were of her friends. So like this one, for example, that's the Vlog Squad, which I love the Vlog Squad so much. And yeah, there's Heath, David, Todd, and Zane, and who I believe might be Matt, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I just found it really cool that she's done that throughout, and then Liza's in here as well, and she's just like put a lot of her friends into here. I just loved it. I'm not a big fan of poetry, but this one didn't feel a lot like poetry. It just felt like a small story. I don't know. I just really loved it. And if you like Gabby, or even if you don't, you just want a fun read of a bunch of poems, I definitely recommend picking this one up. And finally, the 7th and final book that I read during the Booktubeathon was How to Be Bad by E. Lockhart, Laura Miracle, and Sarah Milnowski. This was my pick for read a book about something you want to do, because this book is about a few people going on a road trip, and I always thought it would be kind of fun to get a bunch of friends together and just go on a road trip and have fun. I did give this book 3 or 3.5 stars out of 5 stars. I'm still kind of on the fence about that, but I did enjoy it. I really liked the overall concept of it. These two girls who are best friends and one girl who they work with but don't know very well end up going on a road trip to go and find one of the girls' boyfriends, because they are participating in a long-distance relationship, and she's worried that things might not be great in the relationship, and so they end up trying to go and surprising this boyfriend, and a lot of things happen along the way on the road trip. One of the reasons why I didn't give this a higher rating was because a lot of the writing was a bit off. Also, there was one character in particular who annoyed me quite a bit, and she was very Christian. I don't have anything against there being religion in books at all, but this person was very religious, and they made her out to be very annoying about her religion. Like, anytime she would talk about it, it was just like very annoying and very aggressive. And I feel like they could have represented that a lot more better. And yeah, I don't know. E. Lockhart wrote my favorite book of 2016, which was We Were Liars. And I've read 2 of her other books after that, and none of them have really hit the mark for me. And I don't know if it's just that We Were Liars was just like a hidden gem. And I just love that, and I'll never like any of her other books very much. But yeah, I don't really know what it was. But yeah, I loved We Were Liars, but both of her other books that I've read haven't really hit the mark for me. But either way, I did enjoy this. I'm glad I read it during the readathon and got into it finally. And yeah, so that was the 7th book that I read during the Booktubeathon. So these were the 7 books that I read throughout the week of the Booktubeathon. I'm so very proud of myself, like I said earlier, for completing the Booktubeathon and reading all 7 of my books and completing all 7 challenges. For my first year, I'm very proud of myself, and I definitely did not think I would be able to read this much, but I did, and I'm very happy with that. I'm so excited for next year. I'm definitely going to be participating next year, and maybe I'll even, depending on what's happening at the time, maybe I'll even up the stakes and try to read a few more longer books, even though I did have a few in here as well. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the Booktubeathon this year. I had so much fun completing all of the challenges every day and reading all of these books, because I was in a very big reading mood throughout the week of the Booktubeathon. So I'm very happy that I was able to read all 7 of these books, and I'm very excited for next year. If you guys want to see my entire Booktubeathon journey, I will leave the playlist that I've made of my TBR and all 7 of my vlogs, and then this one as well at the end down below, so that you guys can go and watch my entire journey of my very first Booktubeathon. So I will leave that one linked down below. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. If you watched my Booktubeathon videos, I really hope that you guys enjoyed them, because I really did enjoy making them. I'm very glad that I decided to do a vlog every day, because it was just so much fun getting to do that. I just really enjoyed it. So I hope that you guys did if you watched them. If not, I hope that you enjoyed anything that you watched from my Booktubeathon, and I hope that you enjoyed your Booktubeathon as well if you participated. I would love to know how you guys went with your Booktubeathon, so I'd love if you just leave a comment down below letting me know, or link your video down below explaining how you went in Booktubeathon. Either way, I would absolutely love to know. And yeah, that's gonna be about it for this video today. If you enjoyed it, you can give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And you can hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more from me. And yeah, that's gonna be about it for this video today. I'm Tegan, this is Bookwormia, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!